Now, because there is Mr. Bester who is purported notorious, and this has to be questioned, how do we conclude that somebody is notorious? Is there a measure that Netflix uses to declare somebody notorious? Do we have 1 to 10 to say Mr. Bester is notorious? When you cross the bar of 8 allegations or accusations, that's where you are notorious. Or how did they conclude that he's notorious? And having said that, they still come to say there is no way he should consent. It means that now the right to dignity of Mr. Bester is in question. He has no rights anymore. He can be spoken about as if he's just a piece of meat that has no feelings, emotions, or mind. Then that's where the court needs to look into this documentary as a violation and erosion of human rights. Because if Mr. Bester is notorious and we can talk about him anyhow and have people speaking there and declaring him guilty as if they've got all the facts right and the court has backed their claims, then we are having a challenge in South Africa when it comes to protecting human rights. And also, I want to bring a very interesting point in this to say, you know, the way this documentary has been sensationalized and the vibrations of it, including the emotions created, there is somewhere one speaker on that documentary says, "Are you dangerous?" And they edited it, putting Mr. Best on the other side, saying, yeah, as if he's answering that question that he is dangerous. Now, that is manipulation. That is artistic manipulation. Very wicked craftiness of the editors of this documentary. Because they are sitting there, putting stories as if he is confirming that indeed he is a dangerous man.
Where is this in your papers?
It's there in our papers. In my funding papers, it's there.
Where is it in your replying affidavit?
Actually, in our funding affidavit, we do explain about the manipulative editing that this documentary has. And on our replying, we were expounding on that. Actually, our replying, we were adding more meat to what already is being raised in the answering affidavit.
So where is this about Mr. Bester and then as though he answers yes, he's dangerous?
My lady, on paragraph 31.
So are we in the founding or replying?
Is on my replying.
Okay.
On paragraph 31. It reads thus: as argued in my funding affidavit and elsewhere in this affidavit, Netflix has employed crafty and manipulative editing practices in the publication of this documentary, which can also be seen in the trailer where one of the commentators is shown to be asking the question, "Will you say you are a danger to society?" And a video clip of myself is then superimposed after stating something along the lines of, "Yes, I will say so," or "Yes, I believe so."
Thank you.
So we have that in our papers. So now this also shows that this documentary simply tries to drive a certain narrative about Mr. Thabo Bester. And now if we have this kind of a documentary being flighted, whereas on the 19th of September, next week, Friday, he will be appearing in court, what is the impression that is being created there? And also, these are type of documentaries that make the public to believe that somebody is guilty. When they are not found guilty, then the judiciary will be looked at with wrong eyes or will have a bad reputation, simply because there were some prominent people, celebrities, who were speaking, social commentators, that he is guilty. And this is so emotionally created that it becomes one of the greatest assets of manipulation that you look into this documentary. I saw one of the celebrities, well-known figure, crying. I wonder, why is she crying? What does she know? Was she there? So these are some of the questions that we really look into. And also, one of the impressions that Netflix or the respondent is creating is to say they are listing a number of articles that have been written about Mr. Thabo Bester. To say it has been written about his rape cases, his Facebook, whatever. They bring many articles that they Googled and they printed them and brought them to court. Now, my question is is that because there has been so much published unfounded without having the actual proof of that, should we allow the further publication on that? Is that how things must be? Because some articles have been written in some newspapers, some video clips have been made on social media. Must we allow also Netflix to do the same? And Netflix has already described itself as one of the giant media houses that says it has got 300 million, how many? 300 million subscribers or viewers. Now, if Netflix published this tomorrow, this documentary tomorrow, just for 1 hour, with their 6-point-something million followers in South Africa, it means that in a space of 1 hour, after this radical marketing that they have undertook with this trailer and this documentary through the trailer, it means that we are going to have many people seeing this, and after to see this, a public opinion and the public court would have decided otherwise about Mr. Thabo Bester. Then when that has happened, the question I'm having is this: are we still going to have are we still going to have a fair trial in that regard?
Sorry, are you saying that a documentary will influence a court, a judge?
I'm saying,
because I find that quite preposterous. Because let's just take it to the end. A judge can only make a finding on the evidence that's before him, and it can definitely not be on a documentary.
I am saying a right. What I'm saying, which is in my papers, I'm saying a right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty, which is section 35. Subsection 3 of the Constitution needs to be protected. This documentary, I'm answering your question. Allow me a space to elaborate my answer. I will answer you fully, my lady. I am saying section 35, subsection 3 of the Constitution, a right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty, has to be protected, including even with a notorious person as labeled by the respondent, like Thabo Bester. Why? Because should that be, when he is found guilty, we do not know what influence will that be. We don't know the amount of influence will that documentary be having in that proceeding. And we are saying such documentaries carry a weight into the public court, carry a weight into the public opinion and interest of the people. And also, my lady, hear my argument within the context of everything that I've been saying for past 30 minutes or so. I have already said, in this documentary, we have the accused, one of the co-accused, who is speaking, the father of Nandi Pamaguduma, and I'm repeating that. And she says, I could not imagine my daughter doing such a thing. It's left there so that people can go and watch the documentary to hear what such a thing will my daughter be doing. And now we also have a judge, Justice Cameron, speaking in that documentary, saying, as a judge, I have never seen such a thing. What a thing is that? Definitely we are talking about Thabo Bester's alleged escape, which already the answering affidavit have stated that this documentary is about that. Now, my argument says, when such documentary are flighted or broadcasted, we then are standing in one corner of the truth, because he is also not given a right of reply. But that is not part of this argument. It's part B of the argument. I'm just saying it in passing, because it has to balance my argument. Part B has to balance my argument in part A. So, the court finding him guilty or not finding him guilty, the moment he goes on the street and is not found guilty, because I believe that he's hiring lawyers like us so that he should not be found guilty. He will not be found guilty, I suppose. Then the state has failed to prove his case beyond reasonable doubt. Now, already the documentary has stated some kind of their truth or some kind of their baseless facts to say he has escaped. Now, it means the judiciary of South Africa allows somebody to walk free who has been found guilty by the public opinion. I am addressing the public opinion, and I'm speaking about the fair trial here. And I'm speaking about the right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty. And that cannot be left unattended. Now, having argued all this, my lady, the question is, why are you in court and sweating so much, Advocate Maila? The reason we are in court is because we are asking that this documentary should be interdicted. On which basis do you want this documentary to be interdicted? There is a case, as I'm closing, there is a case of Setlogelo versus Setlogelo, which is there on my practice notes. Now, my lady, when you look at our founding affidavit, the applicant has covered all the requirements set out in Setlogelo case. Number one, prima facie right, we have already stated that there is a right to fair trial, which is section 35 of the Constitution, a right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty, which is section 35(3) of the Constitution, and also a right to dignity, which is section 10, a right to equality, which is section 9, and also number 2, a well-grounded apprehension of irreparable harm if the interim relief is not granted. There is a phrase we use there to say once the bell is rung and the documentary is flighted, what then will be of Mr. Bester? And people have seen the story, have heard whatever that has been heard. What more will be? Obviously, there will be irreparable harm. Since they said it's 3 parts, after the first part, they are done with Mr. Bester. He's already guilty by the format of the trailer. Number 3, the absence of adequate alternative remedy. If this documentary of Netflix is not interdicted, my lady, what more will remedy be for him after it has been flighted or broadcasted to 300 million followers of Netflix in 160 countries as they boast? Definitely Mr. Bester, in every corner of this world or planet Earth, he will be known as a man who faked his death and escaped, because we saw it in the trailer, it's there. And number 4, the balance of convenience favors the grant of the relief. I mean, when you read what the respondent says in their papers, they say the reason this has to be played or flighted is because they cannot keep their their followers or subscribers in suspense, meaning their subscribers are more important than the human rights of Mr. Bester. Their intellectual or emotional tickling and their feelings must be created at the expense of Mr. Bester's rights. Now we also have we also have the convenience, the convenience favor the grant of the relief. What more will be convenient for the court except to order an interim an interim interdict? I do not see any possible way except this. And the court must note in our papers, we do not say this must not be unpublished. We say let the trial end, and they will publish it, whether he's found guilty or not. They will even have more, because it will have even the trial in it. It will even have this part. So they will have a bigger meat to give to their 300 million subscribers.